Hey guys, I'm back again. Today we're going to be talking about the NFL Combine which wrapped up about a week ago. Be on the lookout for the rest of the month. I'm going to have about a video up every week. Today's obviously. Next week is going to be my rankings, some tiered rankings. The week after that will be my mock draft. Then I'll start talking about some player comparisons the week after. So even though I haven't had a lot of videos coming out on a regular basis or heating up for the draft, so be on the lookout for that. Also, a lot of the other work I'm doing, take a look at the end of the video. You can see where to check out my podcasts, my articles, and a lot of other things that are going on. We had a lot of risers, a lot of fallers in the combine. I'm going to go position by position. I'm going to knock them all out, and I'm going to really delve into who I think raised their stock and made some money, and who I think hurt their stock and lost a lot of money. 3 top offensive tackles emerged due to the combine. Russell Okung from Oklahoma State solidified himself as the top O tackle with an incredible performance on the bench press, 38 reps, and showing off his 36-inch arms in the mirror drill. Brian Bulaga from Iowa thoroughly impressed teams with his athleticism and especially in his interviews. He could be a top 5 pick when all said and done. Bruce Campbell from Maryland was the talk of the combine with an amazing workout. His upside is unlimited. Some team will take a shot at him in the first round despite his tape not living up to expectations. Trent Williams from Oklahoma came in with questions about if he could play left tackle. He answered those questions with an exceptional 40 time at 4.88. Williams showed pass protection ability on kickout drills in the mirror as well. He looks like a top 10 pick. 2 guard tackle tweener prospects who impressed were Roger Saffold from Indiana and Marshall Newhouse from TCU. Saffold played tackle at Indiana and was very inconsistent. He was impressive at the East-West Shrine game and showed in the combine his athleticism and protection ability. A team like the San Francisco 49ers may be very interested. Newhouse is a larger prospect at 6'3", 319, but he put up 38 reps, ran a 5.17. He's an intriguing prospect. Some team may take a chance in the 3rd round. Fallers include offensive tackle Anthony Davis from Rutgers, who I loved, but didn't perform as well as his tape looks. Work ethic concerns were definitely magnified with him. He should still go in the top 15. Center Jeff Byers from USC as well looked rather sloppy and may not get drafted at all. The talk of the tight ends was to use Jimmy Graham. A former basketball player turned college football player, Graham was chiseled and dynamic. As teams look for the next Antonio Gates, they gladly will take a guy who's 6'5" and runs a sub 4.7. Graham showed explosiveness and soft hands. 3rd round pick is more than likely. Doran Dickerson of Pitt ran a 4.4 flat, turning a ton of heads. A tight end wide receiver tweener, Dickerson has offensive coordinators salivating at what they can do with a 220-pound player with that type of speed. A perfect H-back who could be a slot receiver as well. Tony Muwaki out of Iowa had a good day, especially adjusting to poorly thrown balls in the receiving drills. His injury issues will scare many teams off, but he could be an excellent number 2 tight end in the NFL. A deep sleeper is Clay Harbor, tight end out of Missouri State. He can be a complete tight end in blocking and receiving, but he's a bit raw. He ran well, showed strength, and his route running was better than expected. Expect him to be a late round tight end steal. Some of the guys who hurt their stock was Aaron Hernandez out of Florida. He didn't work out and had a chance to prove himself as the number 2 tight end in this draft. He didn't answer those questions and may fall to the 3rd or 4th round. Anthony McCoy out of USC had an inconsistent day. Some teams liked him, most did not. Look for him to go in the mid-rounds as well. Ed Dixon from Oregon had some trouble in the receiving drills, which could slightly hurt his stock with so many tight ends bunched together. The talk of the wide receivers was Notre Dame's Golden Tate. He came in short, slightly above 5'10", but showed long-range speed running an official 4.42 40. A player who adjusts well to the ball and has great leaping ability, Tate is an early 2nd-round pick with an outside shot at the 1st. Andre Roberts out of the Citadel helped himself at the Senior Bowl, catching everything in practice. He did the same at the Combine, as well as showing off 4.46 speed. Intriguing mid-round pick, Roberts could be a great number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. Jacoby Ford out of Clemson and Taylor Price out of Ohio were expected to run well, and did so with a 4.28 and 4.41 respectively. Price also had a great workout, which numerous scouts pointed out. Both players may have moved their stock up about a round. The major faller was Kansas's Dezmon Briscoe, who came out early, but did not dissuade teams who had speed questions running in the mid-4.6s. Briscoe also was not the route runner he was billed to be, and may fall. Jordan Shipley from Texas had a sloppy day in general, though talk was that he was banged up. A very good player, Shipley still looks slow and out of sync, and may have dropped a wide receiver tier. Marty Gilliard out of Cincinnati also didn't have the best day to start, but as he got comfortable, he improved in receiving drills. He may still fall a little more than some think. Though this quarterback class didn't have the top prospects throw, some did impress in drills. Jarrett Brown from West Virginia looked sharp as a whole. He threw out routes and NFL-style routes that don't show up on tape. The tape doesn't match the workout, but he is an intriguing guy. Jevan Snead of Ole Miss may have made a mistake coming out of school early, but he has as much upside as any quarterback in this draft. There were inconsistencies at the combine, but Snead's arm strength looked excellent and his footwork is improving. High upside, mid-round pick. John Skelton of Fordham showed off his arm strength, shooting out balls many of the wide receivers couldn't even catch. Small school prospect with a big arm in this draft. Sam Bradford and Colt McCoy did not throw, but both came through in interviews and cemented themselves as top fives at their position. LeFevour hurt his stock a bit by not throwing as teams questioned his competitiveness and toughness. Quarterbacks who didn't impress me in throwing were Tim Hiller out of Western Michigan, Sean Canfield out of Oregon State, and Tony Pike of Cincinnati. All three couldn't make any of the tougher throws and looked simply pedestrian as a whole. The running backs are always a position that gets some buzz at the combine. Ryan Matthews out of Fresno State may have made the biggest impact on scouts after catching the ball well and running in the low 4.5s. He solidified himself as a first-round pick and could become a 3-down NFL back. Jahvid Best out of Cal and C.J. Spiller out of Clemson both ran in the 4.3s and continued to impress. Toby Gerhart from Stanford was the runner-up in the Heisman and looked more explosive at the combine than on tape. He reminds me of a young Stephen Davis who will go in the second round. Montario Hardesty from Tennessee and Tate from Auburn are big running backs who ran in the 4.4s. Both could be 3-down backs down the line in the NFL and may turn into much better options at half the price from the top runners. One guy whose stock held steady was tiny runner Dexter McCluster from Ole Miss. His 40 time wasn't great, but far and away had the best times in the cone drills. He is explosive and a receiving and rushing threat. Jonathan Dwyer's stock may have been hurt a bit when he didn't run in the 4.4s as some thought. Though he isn't that type of back, Dwyer won't go in the first anymore and may have to adjust his play for the NFL.